I've been writing about my dreams, recording my dreams, exploring my dreams since I was in my teens. And no one ever told me to do that. I actually wasn't really in an environment that I was given any sort of like advice or direction in that regard as to how to go deeper into my own being and do that introspective work, except for a friend that I had when I was 13, newly in high school. And she was writing poetry. She had a book called Me, Myself, and I. And I decided that that sounded cool. I'm gonna, I'm gonna start a notebook called Me, Myself, and I. So my first clumsy attempts at poetry are recorded in that notebook that I still have. And so later on, I started writing about my dreams. And because I had such vivid dreams and memories of them, and I would wake up remembering the entire story. I just remember how it unfolded and how it made me feel. And then I started getting into psychology on that surface level, and where a lot of the dream analysis involved, typical images and symbols and that sort of thing that would mean the same for everyone. And so I got to a point where I had children and eventually three of them and lots of classes I was taking and always studying something. And it just took me sort of in a different direction. And I was always remembering them still, but I wasn't recording them, writing them down, going deeper into why the dreams were they were the way they were and what they were there to teach me or to show me or to reveal to me. And so I return to that every once in a while. And I started journaling again, actually, not that long ago. I've always written, but not always just in those moments, where you just take the time to unpack something that doesn't seem all that significant until you untie the ribbon, until you open the lid of that box and see all the gifts inside once you just had a good look, once you opened the gift that was delivered to your doorstep. And my dreamscape and dream world was one of those places. I also was inadvertently and sort of unknowingly dreaming all the time. My dream world came into my life because I'm a writer. I once read a quote that said, it was something like writers are always daydreaming. They're always in the dream state, especially when they're, you know, um, in the act of writing itself, or working through a scene, or a character is becoming, breathing life into a character in your mind or on the page. And same thing with the poet. I call it the poet's bullseye, really like seeing the beauty of a single moment, a single face, a single feature, a single plant or animal in nature, the sky, feeling, a feeling. And so those things were always at play within my higher mind, my psyche, my heart, my very being, my emotional body. And the dreamscape is really where all the fodder lies for everything you create in your environment, how you see it, your worldview, how you experience it, what you seek to experience, what you say yes to, what you say no to, how you discern, the wisdom you garner. I guess you could use the word garner, the epiphanies that bubble forth. All of those things come from this imaginal realm of possibility. So I feel as if my life has been spent, I guess, shedding old skins, I suppose, and allowing the new to continue to surface, which has always been in there. The potential's always been there. It's been also a shedding of boundaries and barriers and shoulds and constructs, by really going deep and being able to uncover what it is that how I really thrive, I suppose, in my full expression. So a lot of the work I've done throughout all the years has really had this heartbeat of being not necessarily a steward, but being alongside and as well as encouraging that kind of evolvement, involvement, self illumination, and agency. The hero, the antagonist, the writer, all of those things of your own story in other people. My own story and your own story. And so part of that exploration is, and a big part of it actually, or maybe the origin of that, is in the imaginal realm. Whether it be fiction or nonfiction, the lines are blurred. There really is no delineation actually between the two. So I did a dream teacher training after exploring more of dream yoga and then some of the work of some people who are very deeply steeped in this practice, which, like I said, I think all of us can be at any moment, whether it be in daydream, creative mode, flow. We hear about flow a lot. Whether it's nocturnal dreams while we sleep, or if it's in a journey that we actually choose to take through maybe music, shamanic drumming, closing our eyes, allowing those stories to actually write themselves. It feels like they write themselves, yet we are actually getting our thinking mind sort of out of the way to allow the stories and the connections to come forth. So there's also this whole concept of the world being the oracle as well. Like in your dreamscape, you're dreaming and things mean things. They have symbols. Everything is symbol, including the language we use. So if we look at it that way, we can see the value and the validity and the truth in the statement that our dreams and the symbols in our dreams reveal the answers to everything we could ever want to know. It's all there. And there is intention, but it's effortless at the same time. It's like the yogic concept of effort and non-effort. So when we relax into our knowing, when we acknowledge the distraction of the lived life, the world that demands our attention, the things we think are the most important things, like bills and getting from A to B, those things are very important, right? We need to take care of these things to exist in the world we live in. And at the same time, not one is not better than the other, and at the same time, we are co-creating it. We are creating it. We are allowing the imaginal realm to be the seat of, actually, our compass. Let's put it that way. Gives us direction. It reveals I guess some people like to say life lessons, right? Because we're all here learning and evolving and involving. Yeah, so the symbols are not just symbols that are the same for everyone. So a crow in my dream isn't going to mean the same as a crow in yours. Or if one shows up in your backyard, that world oracle idea of, in your waking life, you see a deer or you see a crow or you see, the storms, or you constantly see pregnant people or, any of those things that are just like, hello, 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 revealing themselves to you like those gifts. They're gifts of revelation and discovery of your world and of yourself and connection points. That net, that weaving tapestry of your story and your connection to self, others, the world around you. Because the disconnect is where dis-ease in mind, body, spirit is felt. It's literally just the felt experience of disconnection. So in our individual dreamscapes, in our individual, we have this, what I call like the materials, the materials and what we think matters or feel matters to us. The fodder, the field, it's the materials from which we each individually draw from. So that could be made up of our experience, like of the history we have, the events in our lives, the people we've encountered, the things we've been taught, the culture we were brought up in, which make up our worldview, and all of those things, they sort of become part of our individual materials from which we draw from to create these stories in the dreamscape, right? In our daydreams, in our nocturnal dreams, in the, it's going to be something that we're somewhat familiar with and we assign meaning to. So what we do in the dream exploration, dream play, I like to say. Some people say dream work. Sure, that's okay. I also like to use the word dream play. When we do that, we reveal more of the answers that we are seeking, which are always lying. They always lie within. They always lie within. And it becomes our inner guidance system, our compass, a direction of which direction to go if we need to go anywhere. If we need to go anywhere at all. And sometimes we don't need to go anywhere at all. The movement is literally in the energy, in the aha moments, the epiphanies, the I get this, the revelations, and sometimes they lead to action. I gotta quit that job. Have to put more effort into this relationship with my partner or my children, or I need to sit with Mama Rose or the bear in the cave right now. All of those things will come to the surface. They'll bubble forth, I like to say, like these bubbles of epiphany. They come. And we're less inclined to seek outside for answers. We're more inclined to allow the inner wisdom to come, to reveal itself. So I'm just going to just mention a couple of things that Robert Moss, one of my teachers in this whole experience, more recent, actually, I discovered his work a couple years ago and did a little bit more in-depth study with him. And here are some things that he mentions in his books. And I just want to list them for you to contemplate, actually, the power of dreams and why writing them down, thinking about them, verbalizing them, talking to someone about them, doing dream work with a person who understands how to help you through this process is so very, I would say, virtually integral. We can get by, yes, of course, without doing this. Yet it is such a beautiful, powerful, I don't know, it's not means, it's a portal to your inner knowing, your highest expression, your best health, your deepest healing. And healing actually just means to make whole. It's all that's going on there. Making whole, whether it be in your body, your mind, spirit, soul, it's all the same thing. It's actually all the same. Just different aspects of you. So here we go. Here are Robert Moss's 9 powers of dreaming, okay? So number 1, we solve problems in our sleep. Isn't that cool? You go to sleep, you wake up, you're like, wow. I mean, who hasn't said, I got to sleep on this? It's not just giving the nervous system and the thinking mind a break. It's actually very active in that dream state. Even when you're saying I'm meditating, I'm checking out. No, actually meditation is checking in. So number 1, we solve problems in our sleep. Number 2, dreams coach us for the future. And this is the thing about memory, right? We actually need that. I mean, it's useful to have memories so that we can make plans or decisions in the future. Yet, we always have to keep in mind that the past is in the past. It's no longer like happening right now. It's relevant, but not happening right now. And we can take the lessons as we take them and be mindful that they're not always true. Could have felt true at the time, or it could keep us stuck. So those are the ones we want to say, thank you for the lessons. We'll let you go now. Not going to be scared of driving down the highway every single time I get on the highway because I was almost hit once by a semi truck. That's my experience. That was really scary. So they coach us for the future. There's insights also within those dreams, like, where do I go from here? Number 3, dreams hold up a magic mirror to her actions and behavior. Yeah, reflection, contemplation. It's not rumination, not in any way. We're not going over things over and over and over and over and over again and picking things apart and getting too much into that left brain analytical dissection. We are actually putting everything together. We're looking in the mirror. What is it, right, that's going on here? And it's a lot more fearless. You know, we can tend to, and even in dreams, people will say, I had a nightmare. I don't like it. I don't ever want to think about it again. Nightmares are where you can lean in. And I love what Robert actually said about that, where a nightmare is an unfinished dream. I would say it's just something, period, that's unfinished. And so, and in finishing, I would say that there's a little bit more nuance there as well. That when we go in and we finish a dream, it's more like there's a resolution, an insight that happens, a befriending of the dragons and demons that are really just very powerful energies looking for your attention. It's like the junkyard dog. I'm actually writing about this in my book. And the junkyard dog looks pretty fierce and it's going to bite you, but really, like, do we kill it? Do we beat it into submission, or do we feed it? We share our bounty with it and it becomes our loyal friend forever. How about that for sorting out a nightmare? Number 4, dreams show us what we need to do to stay well. I don't even need to unpack that even anymore. I'm just going to kind of go through these a little bit more quickly. Number 5, dreams are a secret laboratory. Number 6, dreams are a creative studio. So you can be the lab scientist creating anything you want. You can, lucid dreaming is where you go in and you're participating. Not manipulating, but participating. Knowing that you're dreaming, you're like, wow, I'm actually doing something here. I'm not just being carried along. So there's this dual aspect of being carried along, being curious about what comes up, but also like, hey, like I want to open that door and see what's in there, in this dream. So the creative studio, yes, number 6, again, to create your stories and your experience. And it's great fun. And creativity is actually the force of life itself, is creation. And that is what we are here doing. Every moment, we are all creators. And whenever we're cut off from that creative spirit, that creative piece that is us, the creations we want to bring forth into the world, but feel that we don't have the time, the space, the energy, we got to do this, got to do that. Whenever we cut that off, we become unwell. Something is off. So, number 7, dreams help us to mend our divided selves. Again, the connection of ourselves, of our every piece, every aspect of ourselves, even those ones we don't want to see, we don't want to acknowledge, we are afraid to look at, we are ashamed of, all those sorts of things. But it could also be, the really elevated parts of ourselves as well that we feel we can't actually achieve, but we are that. So that's where we find that space to mend our divided selves, is in that dreamscape. And again, we pull that into our everyday lives when we play with our dreams, when we explore them and we journey through them and we adventure, we tumble through and we allow them to be there as part of our everyday awareness and experience. We are more free in our waking lives. It becomes part of our waking lives. Number 8, dreams as a key to better relationships. 100%. The better you know yourself and the reasons you do things, and be able to have some space between reaction and moving that into responsivity, the better our relationships become. And the more empathetic, compassionate we are with others, and the more we understand them. So number 9, dreams recall us to our larger purpose. Recall as in memory, like, oh, we remember ourselves, and to recall. So we are answering this call to our larger purpose. And it's not just that we all each have our own, like, one purpose and we have to find it and seek it. No, we allow it to come up, and that's just literally following the breadcrumbs. That's what I call it. Follow the breadcrumbs of what comes up in your awareness once you're tuned in to noticing such things. Like, wow. And really the answer to whether or not you're moving in the direction to your best good is whether or not you feel purposeful or engaged, joyful, curious. Anytime there's sort of distortion or discontent or disconnect, we feel it. We feel it as discomfort. And again, though, the journey is sometimes uncomfortable as well. And that's okay, but you discern whether that's something you need to. We'll always have to lean into it anyway. If anybody knows with physical body, pressure on like something that hurts actually makes it feel better. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole nother topic. I do want to mention a couple things here before I'm done with this little piece here for you. And here's another thing from the very same book I was reading about dreams. So Robert Moss identifies 9 rules of coincidence. And so here is what I'm talking about with the World Oracle and things that you notice, and maybe synchronicities. Like, I was just talking about my, I don't know, about bears or the energy of bears, and I saw one, and I never see one in these parts. Stuff like that. Like, literally, if you are tuned in, these things are undeniable. You'll be literally like, oh yeah, it's like, this is coincidence. Of course. Because at first it seems like, yeah, right. And then next it seems like, I'm just looking for this. I'm just making this up. And then next you're going, oh, it's undeniable. It's like it becomes second. It's like not second nature, but natural. It's just like, yeah, of course. So here are the 9 rules. Number 1, there are things that like to happen together. Number 2, thoughts or actions produce effects. Number 3, coincidence multiplies when we are in motion. So when we're participating, we're in motion, we're thinking even about it or in that with that higher mind. Number 4, life rhymes. I like that. Number 5, the world is a forest of symbols and your own meaning. Yes. Number 6, every setback offers an opportunity. Yeah. Number 7, to find our way, we may need to get lost. Feels lost. Yeah. What better way to understand the terrain of an area than getting lost? Not going by the same old track you've been through all, because you don't explore when you're not lost. Getting lost is a forced exploration. Number 8, look for the hidden hand. Someone there to help you and guide you, it's in there. Look for the hidden hand. Number 9, the passions of the soul work magic. So the passions of the soul work magic. Yeah, they do. And then here's the 7 open secrets of imagination. Number 1, by picturing our blocks, we can move beyond them. Again, look in that mirror. Look at what's going on. Number 2, the body believes in images. Yeah. Number 3, if we can see our destination, we are better than halfway there. Number 4, the big story is hunting us. Like it's there. It wants us to see it. Number 5, there is a place of imagination and it is entirely real. Number 6, we can grow a vision for someone in need of a vision. That's this next level of gifting this sight to another, holding the space for another, for a new vision, a new dream. And number 7, the stronger the imagination, the less imaginary the results. Yeah. So, wrapping up. So the importance, what's the importance? I think it's pretty important. I hadn't written about my dreams in a long time. And then when I started doing that again, a whole world of, it's not knowledge, it's knowing opened up for me. And living every day is magical, despite and maybe even because of the challenges and what seem to be, what I used to see as problems. They're possibilities. They are positioning, which Michael Beckwith actually says, problems into positioning. Where is it pointing you? Rather than, I just want to get rid of this. I don't want to have a problem. No, it's positioning you. And sometimes it is pointing you in a direction that is better. And it's actually more the case that is better or more of your expression than the road we were on before. So yeah, journaling, speaking through and of and from our dreams in combination with other practices. So what I like to call, I was calling them stillness practices, practices of presence. And they're practices or modes of exploration. And I like to call it my toy box or bag of magic. And I think all of us gather those things in our lives, in the things we're taught or we learn from others. And we just gather the ones that really work for us. I have a pretty big one because I love to explore these things myself. It's just it's a passion of mine. So I'm doing more of this work. This is really where I guess you could still call it coaching, has gone in this, it's expanded in this direction as well, in addition to all of those things that are in my bag of tricks, a bag of magic. I wouldn't say tricks. I like to say magic, tricks into magic. Yeah, that's a good switch. My toy box. And so I'm actually offering some 45-minute sessions. So if you're curious, book one. There will be the booking link beneath this recording, wherever you might find it. And if you have questions, I would absolutely love to answer them. I would love to have a conversation about this with you. So you are more than welcome to contact me via email, which would be to reply to any email that you receive from me if you're on my email list, or through my contact form on my website, carlaathertoninspired.com, or send me a direct message on Instagram at Coach Carla Atherton. So I would love to open up this very inspiring, wonderful, wondrous, delightful, maybe sometimes really scary world of dreams with you. So